The winter arc mentality destroyed my productivity, and not because I wasn't working hard enough, but almost because I was trying just too hard. I was working the wrong way. Here's why the best entrepreneurs that I know treat every season like a summer. You know, there's something light and carefree about the summertime, especially in the UK. You know, if you're from the UK or you visit for a long enough period, you'll be able to see the transition clearly from winter into summer. You know, winter is moody, dark and dull, and it directly reflects people's attitudes and mental spaces. And it's summed up perfectly by the whole winter arc stuff. You know, now in the modern era, or at least in the entrepreneurial side of the internet, the chronicle online corner of the internet, I feel like winter embodies all of the negative traits of self-improvement and personal development. And yeah, I do take this with a pinch of salt, because the whole winter art stuff is in a way ironic. It is not entirely too serious for a lot of people. But the winter arc way of life, the great looking winter arcology, to me it just gives that dark side development vibes. In the summertime, I feel like you can just by default be more naturally like locked in day to day in a lot more chill, positive and sustainable way. You know, you can still turn up to the gym every day without feeling like you're a Siberian soldier traveling through rain and snow after your 5-minute cold shower just to get your workout in. You know, you can still work on your business. You can still learn a high income skill every night without that cold efficiency that feeling locked in often comes with. You know, the winter arc mindset, it had me feeling like the competition was out to get me, that now is my last and final winter to get rich before the world goes to ruin and I'm stuck as a peasant for eternity. The winter arc rhetoric and the general gloomy mood of winter can make it very easy for people to just be more isolatory, less social and less friendly, you know, more self-interested and more depressive. And yeah, SAD, seasonal affective disorder, or winter depression, winter blues, is a very real thing. It's the shorter days, the longer nights and reduced sunlight. Low vitamin D reduces serotonin activity. It disrupts circadian rhythm, disrupting people's sleep schedules, which does impact day-to-day mood. And so yeah, people feel low energy and gloomy because they actually do have lower energy. And mood is magnetic. Mood is contagious. It's why when you go out and you see everyone with their headphones in and hoods up, you know, locked in their own little worlds, it affects people. And it affects me too, even if I try and go against the grain. And again, it is why it's easier for people to try and use the general monotony, the gloom of winter, as an opportunity to actually lock in and focus in on their goals. And it's fair enough, you know, winter causes people to already edge towards being isolated and self-interested biologically. But I don't know, I think being overly locked in and robotic can work for many, and I guess this is in our biology for a reason. Again, a few hundred years ago, we'd be quietly fighting to survive the winter, you know, eating dried aged meats and fruits, whatever. The reason I love summertime so much is because the people are more joyful, people are connected and interact with each other. We are more likely to go outside and make time to see each other on the weekends. People smile more, people are more friendly, music is playing, people are out selling food on the street. You know, we sit in parks and we spend more time with our friends and family. And I'm not saying that we must bring this into the winter time, because if it's raining, if it's cold, it's only natural that the parks are empty and the energy isn't quite the same. But I just feel like people can still try to adopt a bit of the summer lightheartedness during the winter. Just because it's freezing out and you have work tomorrow, you can still try and live with that same positive attitude that many people have during the summer. You know, you can still work on your business, you can still develop your skills whilst enjoying the weather, whilst actually touching grass and living a healthy lifestyle, a truly healthy lifestyle. And as an entrepreneur, summer is so refreshing, it is so enjoyable to me because it feels naturally aligned with the type of life that I wish for on this entrepreneurial journey. Because during the winter, the vibe is more waking up to a blaring alarm in a freezing cold room, feeling a little bit anxious and low-key dreading the day. But in the summertime, the air is lighter, it's warm, the sun is out even early in the morning. In the summertime, I want to get up and out of bed, you know, the birds are singing, I'm trying to hear that, I'm trying to go outside, I'm trying to make my tea, take in some sunlight and relax in the outdoors before I start my work for the day. In the summertime, I feel less rigid and more kind to myself. And yeah, maybe it sounds a bit corny to you, you know, maybe you want brutal efficiency or lock-in or avenging my fallen clan and shit, but instead of telling yourself that it's time for the great winter lock-in, instead of telling yourself that it's now or never, in summer, I personally find that I allow myself to go on a walk or to make myself a drink and take a break. Whereas in the winter, when I used to be really hard on myself and force the hustle culture, optimization, maxing, and stuff, I would often become overwhelmed after a number of days and just find myself scrolling on my phone, like at my desk, or I would just slowly spiral out of focus and descend into just watching random YouTube videos, again at my desk, instead of working. And this is because I had placed an unfair expectation on myself. I had told myself that it's time for the great lock-in, that I need to focus now, that I need to be a soldier every day, no breaks, now or never. And this approach just didn't work for me, because if I had just allowed myself a day off here and there, if I had allowed myself to stop work for the day when I had reached the point of low focus and scatterbrainedness, I could have made myself a meal where I could have spent time with my family downstairs. I could have gone to train or work out. I could have been giving myself the time and freedom to do something different whilst refreshing my focus, whilst restoring my mental energy for the next day. I would be keeping the burnout at bay. And so the summertime entrepreneurial journey, it just feels more sustainable. It feels more chilled out in a good way. I feel like this is the life. This is how we should be living. But also the winter arc, the great lock-in mentality, it doesn't take into consideration that actually this winter, it could be your last on the planet, because unfortunately tomorrow isn't promised. You never know what is around the corner for you or your loved ones. And this is why I find this stuff kind of frustrating in a way, because when people tell you that you should be working 12 hours a day, no days off, you shouldn't feel disheartened or threatened by the competition because you aren't grinding yourself into the dust. Because truthfully, a huge part of the voice of the chronically online, a huge part of the entrepreneurial side of the internet is just a massive echo chamber. People just repeat each other's ideas and sentiments, often without knowing or actually understanding what is truly meant by what they are just regurgitating. People see that something gets views and they try and replicate it. They try and spout exactly what the next guy was saying without truly understanding the message for themselves. It's a lot of parroting, that's the word. Repeating, not understanding. This space is an echo chamber, Chinese whispers, because most people aren't actually working 12 hours a day. Most people aren't making 10k a month. They're not like that for real. People aren't dialed in like that. It's a myth. Remember always that this online world that we probably spend too much time in is an echo chamber of slop. And your mental health just gets worse and worse by the day as you fall deeper and deeper into the trap of believing that everyone else is working harder than you, that everyone else lives a better life than you, that everyone else looks better than you and works out better than you and has a better body than you. You are being fear-mongered into living in a certain way by people who don't know, believe, or truly understand what they are saying. But people choose to say it anyway because they want to blow their account up. They want to make a quick buck. So do not fall for the nothing slop that is the winter arc. Take a step back and analyze what it is that you are actually consuming, what it is that you are listening to, or just unplug from this culture entirely, unplug from social media, because you will find the happiness that you're looking for. You will find the productivity, the success that you're looking for. Live life like it's summer 24/7 all year round. And so this is what I mean when I say that I love the summertime as an entrepreneur. I love the journey. I love the sense of joy, the lightheartedness, the flexibility that summer gives me. So I'm saying that we should have our plans, we should have our goals and aspirations, but we can also still make time for our friends. We can still allow ourselves to get out and see our families. We can allow ourselves to go on a spontaneous walk or a day out, regardless of the season, holiday, or time of year. Just because you have a goal or just because you want something that someone else before you has achieved, do not be disillusioned into believing that there only exists one path to achieving this goal, that there's only one set blueprint to your goal. And so even in winter, you can still wear the metaphorical flip-flops that you would in summer. Instead of going to the park when the sun is out, in the winter you can go to an outdoor market, you can go to the cinema, wrap up warm and take a train to the other side of the city. And just walk around with that same curiosity, with that same intrigue and overall contentedness with life that you would be doing during summer. Don't just limit yourself to the imaginary ceiling that is placed over you. Don't shrink yourself just because you would be deviating from the social norm. And so why can't we be joyful during November? Why can't October be the month of happiness and contentedness like December is. So forget the winter arc, burn the great looking, live life more kindly, take time out and take your journey slowly, because I most definitely have been seeing the benefits of this shift in mindset, this shift in attitude, and I'm feeling a lot better on my day-to-day journey as an entrepreneur. I'm relaxed and I'm productive at the same time. Like, people think that you can't have both. People think that chilling out and having a good time and being productive are mutually exclusive, but bro, just trust me here. I'm getting so much work done and I'm actually enjoying this journey. But yeah, that's about it for me. Thank you for your time. Yeah, like, comment, all of that, and check out this video right here that YouTube thinks you'll like. Bish bash bosh.